everybody. This is Suvarchala working as an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Aeronautical Institution. Today, I would like to discuss about the relational algebra operators. Last session, I discussed about basic relational algebra operators. Today, additional relational algebra operators are derived relational algebra operators. We know that the relational algebra operators are categorized as three categories: basic relational algebra operators, derived or additional relational algebra operators, extended relational algebra operators. The basic relational algebra operators we discussed already about select, project, union, set difference, and Cartesian product, rename operators. Among these, select project operators are unary operators. When rename is also considered as a rename is also considered as an unary operator. Union, set difference, Cartesian product are binary operators. Based on these six operators, some more operators we will define. These operators doesn't add any additional power to our relational algebra, but while writing queries, the complexity of the queries can be reduced by using these operators. Instead of using a series of basic relational algebra operators, we can use these operators so that the complexity of the query can be reduced actually. As a part of this derived or additional relational algebra operations, intersection, set intersection, natural join, division, and assignment operators. These four operators we will discuss in this session. As we aware that any expression in relational algebra may be expressed as combination of relations and constant relations. A relation in database or a constant relation. Basic expressions in the relational algebra consist of any of these two categories, that is relational algebra or any relation in database or any constant relation. Let E1, E2 are two relational algebraic expression. By applying any of these unary operators, again we will get a relational algebra based relation only. That means inputs are relations, output is also a relation. So that's why after applying these basic operations, we will get a result as a relation only, so that can be used as an input for our further query processing actually. So E1 union E2, E1 minus E2, E1 cross E2, that is union, set difference, Cartesian product, sigma P of E1, where P is a predicate selection operation, and pi of E1, where pi is known as a projection operation. All these six basic operations results any relation. Resultant will be a relation again in our database. Even renaming also, just we are going to rename the existing relation. So that's why with that new name, the relation is going to be accessed further. So based upon these six basic relational operators, the additional operators intersection, natural join, division, and assignment can be defined. Set intersection operation. The meaning of set intersection is based upon the set operations only, intersection. That means the tuples which are exist in both relations R and S, we can treat it as a set intersection operation. That means the tuples must be available in both R and S. So formally it can be defined as set of tuples T such that T belongs to R and T belongs to S. The T belongs to R and S both. That means both relations S and R must be compatible. As in case of other set operations, union and difference, here R and S must be compatible. Compatible as well as samenity. Number of attributes must be the same. as well as the corresponding attributes domains must be the same, compatible domains actually. In such cases only, these kind of set operations are possible, either basic set operation or this intersection operation. As we discussed earlier, this is an derived operation. So, this intersection can be expressed by using our basic operations. Set difference is a basic operation which we defined. So, set intersection can be defined as R intersection S can be R minus S. That is the tuples which are in R and which are not in S. Those are going to be removed from R. That means automatically the tuples which are existing in both relations are going to be listed out actually. So in this case, the set intersection operation can be used or represented by using the basic say, relational algebra operator set difference actually. That's why we are considering this as a derived operator actually. Example, we are going to consider two relations are R and S are two relations. You observe these both relations are having the structure as only two attributes in each of them, and both are having the attributes, the first attribute of A and second attribute B. Sometimes the names may be different, but remember that you are going to have the same domain. So what is this intersection operation? Common tuples. Common tuples alpha 2 is there. Is alpha 2 is there in the S relation? Yes. So that will be listed. Beta 3 is there in R, but beta 3 is not there in S. So that's why it won't be listed. So in both relations, alpha 2, that is alpha 2. This tuple, only single tuple exists. So therefore, R intersection S is in alpha 2. You observe here AB, the resultant structure also same, and the structure of the R and structure of the S is also same. That is schema of R, schema of S, and schema of R intersection S is same. You observe that. Schema I am talking. Another example you can consider, computer science students and master students are there. So R intersection, here two relations are there, CS students and master students. So CS students intersection master student will be common attribute, common tuples we have to consider. But you check out that respective attributes, number of attributes are same. Student number, name, year in the first CS student, as well as master student also you are having student number, name and year. So compatible relations, structure is same. We can continue further set intersection. So we have the first tuple S1 equal 5, S1 equal 5 is there. So that was listed in our intersection, and S3 rho Z4, S3 rho Z4 is there. So that was also resulted. S4 is not there. So S4 in case of master students that was not resulted. So this is common tuples we got. As in case of your set intersection definition, similar to that same here also, but there we will consider two sets common elements. Here we are considering element is in case of our relational data model, relational instance, we will consider it as a tuple. The next operation is natural join operation. Natural join, the term itself indicates that two relations are joined together. Let R and S be the two relations on schemas. R, the uppercase letters represent schema and the lowercase letters represents the relation names. These two are two relations R and S. So natural join is represented by using this notation. You observe this notation. So what is natural join? Natural join means if these two relations are having any common attribute, and the common attribute they should have common values. The respective tuples only, mapping of the tuples are going to be listed by this operator. So our natural join, yes, the result of the relation consists of the structure will be R union S. R union S means all attributes of R followed by all attributes of S. You please recollect for Cartesian product also, the structure of the Cartesian product will be R union S only. So same we are getting, but not all tuples here. In case of Cartesian product, after mapping, each tuple of the first relation is mapping with each tuple of the second relation, and that will be listed as an output. But in this example here, when we are doing this natural join, structure will be the same as your Cartesian product only, but not all tuples of CP. Only some selected tuples of CP are going to be listed. So selected tuples means what is that particular selection? The pair of tuples TR and TS are listed. TR means a tuple from relation R, TS means a tuple from relation S, such that TR and TS will have same value on each of the common attribute. You observe here, mathematically we defined it as on each of the attributes in R intersection S. R intersection S means the common attributes in between these two relations. And the tuple T is the result of the where T has the same value as TR in R and T has the same value in TS and S actually. So basically, we can define it as a R natural join S results the tuples of mapping of each tuple of R with mapping of each tuple of S such that the common attribute values are having common, then the resultant will be displayed. So that's why it's a special case of our Cartesian product. Like Cartesian product, here also mapping we are doing, but mapped each tuple of the mapping was not at all displayed. Only the common attributes are having common attributes, common values will be get displayed. If there are no common attributes in your natural join, the result of the natural join is same as your CP. Same as, that means pi will be displayed. No common attributes means no common values. No tuples are going to be displayed from there actually. So example you can consider here, R is equal to A, B, C, D. 4 attributes are there. S is equal to E, B, D. What are the common attributes? You observe B is a common attribute here. D is also common attribute. The resultant schema will consist of all attributes, and by listing the common attributes only once here, A, B, C, D, because BD is repeated. Anyway, we are going to display common values, equal values, no? So that's why no need to display again and again. So our natural join is defined as pi of, what are the attributes we are getting? From the relation all attributes, that is R dot A, R dot B, R dot C, R dot D. And from the relation S, all attributes except the common attributes. So we are going to get S dot E only. S dot B, S dot D are not considered. Why? Because BD was already displayed. So pi indicates that what are the attributes must be included, that is A, B, C, D, E, and observe the tuples. So as we defined common attributes, common values, that means sigma of R dot B is equal to S dot B. The B attribute value of R relation must be equal to the B attribute of the S relation, and the D attribute of R relation must be equal to D attribute of S relation. Such a mapping conditions will be listed from the Cartesian product. So from Cartesian product, all tuples will be there mapping irrespective of any constraint. From that subset is going to be selected. What is that subset? Common attributes having common values, that is sigma. Selection operator we used here. The select operator is sigma, satisfying the two constraints, because two common attributes are there, no two constraints. If n common attributes are there, n constraints must be written by us such. So that's why the natural join of R and S can be written by using three basic operators: Cartesian product, selection, and projection. You observe, this is projection, this is selection, and this is Cartesian product. All these three are our considered to be as a common basic operators. By using these three basic operators, we defined our join S. If you are just using join word, it is equivalent to natural join only. No need to worry about that. Natural join means we will term it as a join only. Okay. So the natural join of relation to R and S can be written based upon the basic operators CP, selection, projection, pi, sigma. Example R comma S. R is having A, B, C, D and S is having B, D, E and we will map. How to map? Each tuple of this relation is mapping with each tuple of the other relation. That is constituted as a CP. But while mapping, it will check in the common attributes, common values are there, that only listed. In our current example, common attributes are B and D. So we have to check for each mapping. First tuple, what is value of B? 1. Value of D is A. So value of B is 1 we are having. Value of D is also A we are having. That will be listed. That is that mapping was listed. What is that mapping? Alpha 1, alpha A and E only, alpha. Second mapping. That is first tuple with the second. What is B attribute? 1. B attribute of the second relation is 3. So that's why it is not mapped. That will not be displayed. Third tuple with mapping with third tuple. 1 alpha I have to check. 1 is there. But in case of third tuple, A is not there. So that's why 1 alpha, A, 1 and A are there. Then you can connect them. That is gamma is there for us. So the gamma is there. So second tuple is constituted as a mapping of the first tuple with the third tuple of the second relation. Then mapping of the first tuple with the fourth relation. So third, fourth and fifth. Totally 5 tuples are there. So fourth relation, B itself is not mapping. It is going to be not included. And B value must be 3 again. It is 1 in our first tuple. So not included. The first tuple is mapping with the 5 tuples. We are supposed to get 5 in case of CP. But from there we are checking the common attribute values are equal or not. Based upon that we got only 2. Like that with the second tuple also. Beta 2 gamma. Nothing will happen. So beta 2 gamma A. That means we are going to have beta. In case of B value 2 is only with this tuple. But here A must be there. But we got B actually. Similarly, we are having the third tuple alpha 4. Alpha 4 is also not mapping because 4 is not there in our B. So that's why alpha 4 is also gamma 4. That means B value is 4 is not there in our X relation. So that's why the tuple may not be having any mapping constraints are going to be followed. Next alpha 1 gamma A. So 1A again. 1A means same 2 tuples. The first tuple as well as the third tuple are mapping. So that's why we will get again 2 more tuples we'll get. And fourth tuple delta 2. B is 2. So B is 2 means this is the tuple B2. But what is D value? A. But D value I got B. So that's why it is not going to be mapped. So we got the resultant as a gamma 2B is there. So 2B is there. That is only the last tuple will be generated. 2B is there. 2B is there actually. So like that we are going to map as Cartesian product here also. We will map with each tuple of the first relation is mapping with each tuple of the second relation. And after mapping, whichever the common attributes are having the common values, the respective mapped tuples are going to be listed in case of natural join. So this is a subset of CP, satisfying the condition common values into the common attributes actually. So by using this natural join, sometimes whatever the necessary items are going to be get listed, unnecessary items are going to be eliminated actually. We can add some condition also, need not be common attributes common. You can write some condition also here. Then for example, you may write it as a R join S where A is equal to delta. That is, you can write here A is equal to delta. That is attribute A, R dot A. So in case of our relation, if the attribute value of A is equal to small delta, then only mapping will be considered. The remaining values or tuples are not considered for mapping. That means instead of checking the condition, natural condition, common values, common attributes, we can check some other conditions also from the Cartesian product CP, so that we can get the filtered mapped tuples actually. So such type of join is called as a theta join that we'll discuss further actually. The next operator is assignment operator. Assignment operation is same as our general assignment operator in our algebra. Assignment means we are going to assign some result of the expression to some other relation, then we can assign this. The assignment operator symbol is a reverse arrow mark actually. This assignment operation provides us a convenient way to express the complex queries. Because the complex queries are there, the query length is going on increasing. So we will divide into the query into sub parts, and each part is going to be, which is considered as an independent, that will be executed and that is assigned to a relation name, so that instead of using the part directly, we can use the name also to which it is assigned, so that the lengthiness and complexity of the query can be reduced. That means if you are using this assignment means a query will be written as a 3, 4 or more depending upon the logic of the or length of the query. A series of assignment statements will be there in our query actually. So for example, let us assume that you want to write a query for which all list of all employees who is having a list of all employees who is having salary greater than 5,000 and some other constraint is there. Then salary greater than 5,000 will be assigned to some temporary. Then that can be used. The temporary relation can be used to further operations. The next operation, division, we will do anyway. The division is a very complex operation. It is also a derived operation. So the division operation can be used to get a common values from various sets of relations actually. So the division operation is a very complex operation that can be defined as by using this assignment operator. It requires many things actually. So you observe here, temp1 consists of pi of r minus s of r, that is attributes of r which are not in S, and the respective tuples of the r is going to be listed, that is going to be temp. Here we are including temp. Instead of writing this pi operation here, we are using temp1, so that a little bit complexity will be reduced as well as understanding will be increased. Then you observe we are doing the Cartesian product of these two relations on pi r minus s again. Then from that we are subtracting some other relation. So we are storing this value into temp2. We are using the result as a temp1 minus temp2 as a set difference. You observe temp1 and temp2 are compatible and same arity. So that instead of writing this entire expression as a one line expression or a line sequence of operations, a number of sequence of operations, we can store temporary locations in the temporary relationships that can be used further actually. That means the result of the right hand side will be computed, that will be assigned to the relation variable name which is given in the left hand side of the reverse arrow mark. And this variable can be used in our subsequent expressions. As long as that variable is not going to be used by some other expression, then the data will be there in that particular relation. Most of the time, these assignment operations are used to represent our complex queries into simple queries actually. The next and most important operation seems to be a little bit complex operation is a division operation. You remember this is very much required for us. wherever we would like to get a response for the queries which consists of for all. The for all universal quantifier is there. There we can use this division operation. Without division operation, writing a query is a little bit complex and seems to be initial stages tedious and to understand also. So that's why wherever for all option is there in our query, then better use this division operation, which will simplify the process actually. So for example, let us consider here two relations, R and S are the two relations on schemas capital R and capital S, where capital R consists of the attributes you observe A1, A2, A3, etc., AM, B1, B2, B3, etc., Bn. And S must be like this. That means we can apply division operations if and only if the attributes of S are available, all attributes of S are available in R relation. That means R should contain the attributes of S. Remember that. That S, structure of S must be contained in structure of R. Then only this division operation is going to be considered. Remember that. That's why R consists of A1 to AM, B1 to Bn, and S consists of B1 to Bn. All attributes of S are available in R. Then only the division of two relations are applicable. R divided by S. So, what is the result of this operation? The result of this operation, as we are discussing, the result of any operation must be a relation. A relation means it consists of both relation schema as well as instance also. So the relation structure will be capital R minus S. That is, the result of R divided by S consists of the all attributes of R which are not in S. Those are resulted. That is the schema of the R divided by S. Tuples. What are the tuples? Tuples are going to be like this. R division is a set of all tuples such that our tuple belongs to the intersection pi of R minus R, and for all U belongs to S such that TU belongs to R. That means all tuples of S such that TU belongs to R, then the T will be resulted. All tuples, remember that. Then only this division operation is going to be possible actually. We'll take small example, two examples, then it may be a little bit explanatory. Relations R, S. R is having, you observe, attributes of R are AB, attributes of S are B. So that's why the schema of R contains the schema of B. So what is the result? As we discussed earlier, result of the R division S is R minus S. That means this R division S consists of the attributes only, A attribute only. Okay. So the schema consists of only A attribute. Fine. Tuples. So tuples, how did we define tuple? We defined a tuple such that a tuple must be in R such that for all tuples of S, TU belongs to R will be listed out. So T belongs to pi of R minus S of R. That means the tuple belongs to R, and for all U belongs to S such that TU belongs to R. That means here we are considering this B consists of 1, 2. I am taking the tuple alpha 1 first. So alpha 1 means we are considering alpha 1 means we should have 1 and with 2 also. Then only this alpha will be get displayed. Your R minus S means A. So A means alpha we are having. Alpha should map with each tuple of B. S relation. That is, we are going to get alpha 1, alpha 2. These tuples must exist in my relation. Such a way you have to select. So each attribute. So we are going to consider the tuples, each tuple r minus s. R minus s means we are going to have r minus s of r. So what are the values I'll get? Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, we will get r minus s. This is my r minus s of pi, r minus s of r. So this is the relation we are getting. So alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. What I supposed to do? I have to map this each tuple with the b, and after mapping all such tuples must exist. That is, I supposed to map alpha with 1 and 2 of that is two tuples only. No, that's why. How to get I? What are the tuples? I'll get alpha 1, alpha 2. If alpha 1, alpha 2 both exist in my relation or relation, then alpha will be listed. So alpha 1 is there, alpha 2 is there, then alpha is listed. Please don't get confused. You observe here. What is second one? Beta attribute. Right? Beta is one tuple. Again, I have to compare beta 1, beta 2. Two tuples are. That is T, S, no. So T is beta, S is 1, S is 2. So that's why beta 1, beta 2. All these tuples must exist in relation. Beta 1 is there and beta 2 is there. So that's why beta is listed out. Okay. So what is third one? Third one is gamma. I supposed to again map with each of the tuple. So what I will get? So I'll get alpha 1, gamma 2. So gamma 1 is exists, but gamma 2 is not there. So that's why this is not listed. Division of for all, no? So that all. Similarly, delta. Delta 1, delta 2. Delta 1 is there, but delta 2 is not there. So that's why delta was also not listed. Epsilon 1, epsilon 2. But epsilon 1 is there, but epsilon 2 is not there. Again, we are not displaying epsilon. That means you please observe first you have to find out r minus s for r relation and map the tuple with each of the s relation, and the set of the relations must exist in our raw relation. Only the respective r minus s tuple will be listed in our result actually. For understanding purpose, a simple relation having one or two attributes only we consider. We'll consider even more attributes, then you can understand a little bit better way. So what is my structure of R? A, B, C, D, E. So what I supposed to get? R minus S of structure means? So R minus S of R. D is not there. I'll get A, B, C. So I have to get the set of tuples, a relation ABC. ABC means alpha A alpha. We will get up to this. Alpha A alpha, alpha A gamma, alpha A gamma, not repeated, no, it won't be considered. Beta A gamma. So that's why you observe alpha A gamma twice is there. No need to consider. Beta A gamma. Again, beta A gamma is there. Set no more. So no repetitions. Gamma A gamma. Again, gamma A gamma is not resulted. And you got gamma A beta. So how many? This ABC consists of the first tuple, second tuple, third tuple, fourth tuple, fifth tuple. These 5 tuples exist. That is the first part of the definition. Then what I supposed to do? Each of these tuple must map with all tuples of S. If all of them are mapped tuples are existing in our relation, that can be listed. First I supposed to take alpha A alpha. So alpha A alpha means alpha A alpha, the first tuple is A1, alpha A alpha, the second tuple is B1. If these two tuples are exist in relation R, then I can result this alpha A alpha in my division. So alpha A alpha A1 is there, alpha A alpha B1, alpha A alpha B1 is there. Alpha A, alpha B1 is not there, so it was not listed. I'll consider second tuple. What is my second tuple? Alpha A gamma. So alpha A gamma, if you are considering, by mapping this alpha A gamma with both tuples A1, B1, alpha A gamma A1 is there and alpha A gamma B1 is also there. You observe alpha A gamma B1 is also there. So that's why we can listed alpha A gamma can be listed. What is third tuple? Beta A gamma. Beta A gamma A1 is there because here it is A1 is there. Beta A gamma B1 is not there because beta A gamma is having B3 only, B1 is not there. So that's why third tuple is not listed. What is my fourth tuple? Gamma A, the fourth tuple is gamma A gamma. So gamma A gamma is also connected with both tuples A1 and B1. So gamma A1 is there, gamma A gamma B1 is also there. Then gamma A gamma can be listed out. Fifth tuple, gamma A beta. So gamma A beta is going to be mapping with A1. The A1 is not there, but gamma A beta B1 is there. So it was not displayed. So the division operation consists of the structure of the relation is going to be considered as a structure of A minus structure of B, such that which are having the mappings with the all tuples of S separately. So this is used whenever a query consists of for all option, then it is better use division operation. So division operation is Q is minus R division by S, then Q is the largest relation satisfying the Cartesian product which belongs to Q cross S contained in RH. Now you observe here, whenever we are writing this division as a sequence of operations, instead of writing this sequence of operations, we may use our assignment operator as we discussed earlier. So first we are assigning this as a assignment operator and we using that assignment operator here and we are assigning this part as a temp2. So temp1 minus temp2 we are calculating. Right? So this R minus S comma R minus S comma S records the attributes of R only, remember that. So by using these kind of division operations, for all queries can be easily written. You observe here, find all customers. Find all customers who have an account at all branches. All branches located in Brooklyn City. We have customer, we have depositor relation is there, account relation is there, branch relation is there. So first I suppose to find out all customers first from depositor and accounts. So customer name, branch name, I'm taking common attributes. So depositor, join account. Then we will get all details of the customers, that is customer name, and in which they have account, that branch name will be identified. Then what I supposed to know? Whether this particular customer is having an account each branch or not, all branches. So that's why that too Brooklyn branches, not all Brooklyn City branches. So Brooklyn City branches, I'll get sigma branch city is equal to Brooklyn of branch will give all branches of the Brooklyn City. So we are using a division operation, pi of customer name, branch name, pi of branch name of this relation. That means you observe, here I have a R relation, here we are having a S relation, schema is capital R, schema is S. S contained in R, yes. The branch name contained in our, only one attribute, no, so that is contained in our case. So division operation automatically gives the results. No need to worry of the writing a complex operations. So by using these additional operations or derived operations, the complex set of queries which are very, very complex, those queries can be easily written by us. If there is no division operation, we have to write a lengthy query. We are able to write, but a little bit tedious process. So to avoid that complexity, if you know these operations, you can use directly so that this will become a part of another large query actually. So these operations are going to be used by writing queries more effectively. Next session, we are going to discuss about the operations which are increasing the power of relational algebra. Those are considered to be as extended relational algebraic operations. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.